All right, Morningstar, you ready?
Yes. Shimi Sunwee, good evening, everyone, and thank you to all of you for joining us this evening for the celebration on the Klamath Dam removal efforts. We are going to turn it over at this time to Julian Lang. So thank you on behalf of Save California Salmon for everyone joining us this evening.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, kind of celebrating. This has been a long time coming in some ways. I don't know if Mamie made it on or not, but we decided we did a water prayer for kind of the people. I guess it was for the people, the water warriors, or however you might want to refer to them. So we did a prayer for them and for the water itself. And this is, it's fairly short, but like everything, it speaks to who's the boss, I guess, who's the boss in the end, and it's the earth. And so we speak to the earth because of that. Okay. The spirits of this land, listen to me, hear me. May the waters always flow down. May our water warriors always be strong. Matek pakusara o mahakayachesh nara ishahakamrans ishahakramwansa. May the sun be happy to see our water warriors. Chaipatik kuntai wararipanesh pa isha. May they not be able to, they mustn't be able to destroy our water, but destroy the water. Matekatihana wun waraktihesh pa isha. May the water always flow down. Shwe. And I alone know of thee. And so with that, that's I'm happy to be a part of this great kind of group of activists and cultural people and all of that. And thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. So welcome to our update and celebration about the Klamath Dam removal. My name is Regina Chicazola, and I am your co-host this evening, along with Morningstar Gali. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Please bear with us if there are any issues. We have not done a live Zoom community meeting before, but we will try to be patient. And I'm coming here today from Yurok land. I'm here in Arequipa, California, and I'm very happy to be here. And just so people know how this format's going to work tonight, we're going to start out with an update from the Karuk and Yurok tribes on what the dam removal agreement and timeline looks like. We also have Wendy George here today from the Klamath River Renewal Corporation, and they're going to introduce themselves and also answer questions on how the dams will be removed and what the timeline is and what we're looking at as far as continued process. And then we're going to have a moment to recognize all of our water protectors that have passed on within the 20 years we've been working on this. And we're going to show a couple short videos, and then we're going to open it up to different people to talk about the actions they've taken for the Klamath River and what they've done as far as their science, their testimony throughout the years. And this is an open meeting format, but we are hoping that Analia Hillman and Thomas Joseph and hopefully Leif Hillman will help lead us in the talking about the water protection actions throughout the years and the days of actions that have happened. So that's what we're hoping for our format. Please remember, everyone, that we are on native land wherever we are. And along with our land acknowledgements, let's all commit that we will do everything we can to support our local native communities and water protectors. Usually with our land acknowledgements, we do a call of action, but our call to action for this, because it's also a celebration, is to work with your local tribes and water protectors and also celebrate the wins, because they have been very far and few between, but this one is major. So with that, I would like to introduce Vice Chairman Frankie Myers with the Yurok tribe. I believe I saw that Josh Saxton was here from the Karuk tribe. And I'm not sure if Craig Tucker is also here, but I think that Michael Belchek is here. And Wendy George is also here. So you guys can figure out how you would like to present, and thank you so much for being here today and for all your work.
Hey, Tucker, if you don't mind, I'll take the first few minutes here.
Please.
Ayukwi, Naknow, Frankie Myers, Med Chumachuk Shregon, Kinnick Ox. This is my lovely wife, Molly Myers. I'm the vice chairman of the Yurok tribe, and I just want to take a few moments here before I hand it off to Mr. Belchek and Dr. Tucker to go into a bit more detail. I did want to say it's an exciting time here on the river with the signing of the MOA. I feel like we are in a closer place, in a stronger position than we've ever been to achieving dam removal, with the caveat that we know we're a few years behind. But we have increased our strength moving forward. The partnerships that we've built, as weird as it is still to say, with Berkshire Hathaway and Pacificor, are a huge step for us. Let us not forget, this is still America, and what corporations want to do is still important to people and the powers that be. So we're very grateful for them to be wanting and enthusiastic about dam removal now to push it forward. The MOA itself and how we got here, at the end of the day, this was 20 years of work. This was water warriors, activists, Klamath Justice Coalition, and others coming together to really push this to the front line. And for folks who heard the press conference on Tuesday, we heard a lot about indigenous people here on the Klamath and indigenous rights and sovereignty, and that did not happen by accident. There was a push and a focus to bring this MOA forward, that it wasn't just a business deal, not just an environmental movement, but more specifically a social justice movement forward for indigenous people. And if we weren't able to move this forward without being also to recognize the history that was before us, we would have missed a good portion of why we're here. And so my hat's off to all those who have done the work, as well as our corporate and federal partners who saw what this was about and weren't afraid to say it. And I know words are one thing, but words can also be powerful and important, and I think they were. So I won't take more than that. Molly, did you want to say a few things? Or?
No, I'm just going to echo what you said. Is like, everybody who has worked on this we really all kind of grew up, and a lot of us grew up in this kind of together, so pretty amazing, and I'm pretty proud to, call all these people friends and allies. Dr.
Tucker or Mike, either one of you maybe want to take it and get into more details, and I'll be on the call towards the end if there's anything else you want to kick back to me.
Yeah, Craig, I'll take a swing first. And first of all, it's an incredible honor to talk to you all. Many of you I haven't met. I've been working on dam removal for over 20 years now. And from the beginning, even when people were just basically laughing us out of meetings, Yurok and Karuk tribes stood together from early on. And it was a big time effort that took a lot of different things. It took a lot of science, policy, but I really came to understand how much direct action really influenced the discussion. And I have a lot of respect for everybody that helped out. I really don't blame people if they're a little bit skeptical, like why isn't this our third or fourth celebration here? This time, is it for real? I really don't blame people. And there's reasons why decisions were made the way they were made. I think we've walked through it as best as we can. We knew even in 2016, the celebration there was that the deal wasn't dead because it was almost dead at that point. We knew we still had challenges coming up, and we got to run through this regulatory gauntlet through the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission and things like that. What's really different now, there's a couple things that are really different. First of all, the company itself now is out in public all the way from Warren Buffett on down, not only saying that they believe in this agreement or are going to do it, but their dam removal is what they're in favor of. I don't know if people understood, but that during the press conference, Pacific Corp filed a surrender application with FERC with their name on it as sole licensee. This puts them in the public record and down a road towards dam removal that they really would be difficult, if not impossible, to extricate themselves from. But not only that, from the top down from Warren Buffett, they've endorsed dam removal, but not just in a way saying, oh, it's great for our ratepayers, but in a way that's restoring justice to Indigenous people on the Klamath. That was specifically mentioned by both governors and Warren Buffett. And like Frankie says, those words have power. And the other thing that was a real sort of a worrisome point here was there enough money to finish the job? And this is something that FERC expressed. And right now it looks like there is, but you know, these big projects, sometimes there could be unknowns. A significant part of this deal here, this agreement, the memorandum of agreement, was that any possible cost overruns are now covered by Oregon, California, and the company. The threat or the worry by FERC of running out of money is not there anymore. The money is all there for dam removal in a firm way now, and this is the first time that's been the case. And so I just want to say that it's an honor to meet you. I wish we were in person. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. And I'm actually, I agree with Frankie, we're in a stronger position that we've ever been, and we're headed towards dam removal. Turn it over to you, Mr. Tucker.
Thanks, Mike. And I would just say I've been at this almost as long as Mike, and it's just been an amazing experience to work in this community, to be able to work for the Karuk tribe, to have folks like Vice Chairman Myers and Molly, and really all of the folks on this call. But I can't believe the quality of human I get to spend my time with every day and strategizing with and working with on this issue. And it's just such an honor and a privilege to be part of it. And I would just echo everything Mike said. And the other difference, I'm not sure if you hit on it, Mike, is we've gone from it being Warren Buffett's economic interest to delay to it being in Warren Buffett's economic interest to get it done. So now if there's a cost overrun, if there's delays, if prices go up, Warren Buffett has to write at least a third of the check to get it paid for. And that's just a giant change in the dynamic. And I think the other question is like, well, what happened? Like, why all of a sudden did these guys see the light? And it's really a testament to the work that all of you guys have done for these years. You know, I think we taught them a pretty good lesson over the years, the fearlessness of Klamath River activists to show up in Warren Buffett's hometown and speak truth to power in front of 30,000 of his adoring fans. They know we'll do that. And so I think sort of when a few months ago, when we thought we were about to cross the finish line and FERC, there was this last regulatory step through a curveball at us, we immediately launched into action, and we're immediately, getting Warren Buffett's attention in a good way. And so I just think Warren Buffett didn't want to spend his last few years having shareholders meetings that were dominated by this issue and dominated by all of you, because I think that was the alternative to not coming to agreement with us. So we still have a lift. We still have to get this thing across the finish line here in the next few years. We still have to go through another environmental impact statement, and we'll have to show up and pound the table at those events. So we have a few more meetings left, but the bigger problem is there's a lot of folks in Siskiyou County, in Klamath County, who don't think like we do, and they're going to try to fight to save their dams, and we're going to have to counter that activism on their side. So we should pop the champagne bottles and enjoy today and enjoy this week's accomplishment. But we still have a little bit of a heavy lift to get us finally across the finish line. But we're in a great position to be successful today. And I really appreciate all of you.
Thank you so much. And is Wendy George from the Klamath River Renewal Corporation here?
Hi, Regina. I'm waiting for my camera to come on. Bear with me. Josh, are you present? Can you go first? I'm trying to get my camera to go on here.
Yeah, I can fill some time for my cuz. So in echoing everyone's comments, it's crazy. I'm more nervous now than I was in our negotiations with Pacificor and Berkshire Hathaway. So I'm so excited, but at the same time, I'm so appreciative of every single one of our river and water warriors, especially our women warriors, who really stood up and carried us. Anytime during those negotiations where things were getting a little dicey and Pacificor getting ready to get back out, Craig and Mike and Frankie and myself always pointed back to like, listen, guys, if you go this way, you know what's coming. And they knew what was coming. And the only way they knew what was coming was because of the success of direct action and all of you. And we can't thank you enough. You're the reason why this agreement got done, not us.
Regina, if you can try to turn my camera on your side, I would appreciate that.
Carrie, is that possible? I'm not the Zoom person.
I'm working on it, but I'm not sure. I'll work on it, but let's just keep going while I try to figure it out.
So maybe, because I don't think, has anyone else had to turn their cameras on, have us turn the cameras on?
Typically that doesn't happen, but you can on the side. If you bring up the chat, bring up your participants.
Yeah, all we can do is ask for them to turn it on and it should pop up.
Yeah, and I just sent that request, but I don't know if it's doing anything for you.
There's a little carrot.
It's coming through and I'm accepting, but it's not going through. I might have to sign out and come back. So you guys keep going forward and I'll just come back in.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, the next thing we had scheduled, and then hopefully Wendy George from the Klamath River Renewal Corporation. Oh, there she is. I see her. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'll start out by saying thank you to Julian. You brought me to tears in a good way. So thank you for the good prayers to everyone and all the hard work everyone has done. I'll probably first start out by saying, well, well, I wasn't going to be emotional tonight, but I think it's going to hit me hard. I'm very honored to have been able to be a part of this project. And I spent the last 4 years working with and representing the Karuk tribe, where my father came from. And I'm a little emotional tonight because I lost him to cancer a few months back. And this week has been a huge victory for us all. And I just wish he was here to celebrate because he knew what it meant to all of us. But I'd like to add that I first started working on the water issues in 2002. When I was on the Hoopa Tribal Council, we had just won the record of decision for the Trinity River, and we had just come back from a trip to San Francisco, where we went to court, and we had a meeting, and we talked about our next strategy and what was going to be next at the table. And after a long discussion, we decided that we needed to turn and try to help on the Klamath side to see what we could do to help the neighboring tribes. And after that point, a few of us came together with a group along the Klamath River that had already been working on the river issues for a number of years. And during that time, the Fish Commission was established also and played a huge part in the development and progress and teamship that developed throughout the years from there forward. And one of the people who led us and really brought us together as a team was Craig Tucker. And I was talking to Craig earlier today, and I always tell him every time I talk to him, you know, I can never repay you. Sorry for my emotions tonight. The tribes had historically had a lot of history against one another because of what the government had done to us. And coming together at that time was huge because we had fought over land, we had fought over property and timber, and we had so many historical battles, but we threw them all aside. And we came together and we formed teams that could work together. And Jeff Mitchell in the Upper Basin had worked hard from that area to also coordinate on their behalf and work with the lower tribes and get us up in the basin to actually work and meet and get to know the other side of the story of the people. So we came together and we took a trip to the Upper Basin and we spent a week with the farmers. And that was a little intimidating, thinking about going out to the enemy and getting to know people that were taking our water. You know, who has our water? Who are the people that are destroying us? We need to find out who they are. So Jeff set up some meetings, and a number of us went out there and we spent a week, and we went to these homes, we went to the ranches, we toured the entire basin, and we learned about the stories and the people, and we learned about their lives. We learned about what the water meant to them, and not only to us. We shared our stories, and they shared theirs. And we went into their homes, and we had coffee, even though we were enemies. And so from there, we started having diplomatic working meetings about how we could resolve the issues in the Klamath Basin. And from there, the movement grew. And it grew to the point where activists started leading us in a way to where we found out who owned the dams. And again, Craig Tucker was very instrumental in leading us to the places where the power was at. And we had to go to those who had the power, who carried the power to make a difference. And so those were the trips to Scotland that many people went on. Went to a foreign country. You know, none of us had ever experienced traveling across the ocean like that before. But people took the trip because it was something worth fighting for. And so, you know, we sat around the table with Scottish Power president, and basically told him what he was doing to the people along the Klamath River. And that following year, they sold the company to Warren Buffett in America. And from there, it became a fight in America. And from there, the rally continued on, which you hear many people talk about Omaha. And Craig Tucker worked really hard to get passes for us to get into those meetings so that we could go interrupt the meeting and sort of protest in a way. But it was in the most meaningful way that we could possibly try to make these individuals understand what they were doing to an entire race. And so, like Craig says, in front of, I think it was 27,000 people, you know, I think I had 5 girls dressed in their regalia, and I waited for the stadium to be silent when they all took their seats after lunch, and I had the girls walk all the way down the stadium and interrupt the entire meeting with Warren Buffett and everybody sitting at the front table. And it did justice because they went to the back of the room and the cops and security and everybody started surrounding them. And everybody got nervous. And I ran into Kelly Catlick back there in the back of the building. And I was like, oh, what a miracle. Kelly's here, because I didn't know where everybody was at, because everybody was running to try to get a microphone and they only let limited people speak. And Kelly was there, and she basically was my support. And it was just really nice to see a familiar face, because there were all these security guards just surrounding us. And so this part always brings tears to my eyes. But I told the girls, when I start speaking, go to the front of the stage and look them in the eye. And they did it. I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them to this day. They walked in front of thousands of people in their regalia, and they stood in a line. And they spoke on our behalf. And there was nothing more powerful than that day, watching those girls do that. More powerful than any of our words could have been. It was just them showing, and Bill Gates was sitting in the front row too. And just to this day, to all you girls who went with us on that day, thank you so much. And that's how things became to be. We became to be stronger and stronger every year as tribes. We came together, and we united, and we let all the historical issues of the past, go away, and we just became fighters as a team. And that led to more and more and more people becoming involved through the years. People came and people went and people passed on, and that was the hard part to this, is we've lost so many people. We've lost so many people to so many different sicknesses. And, at times we're angry, we're hurt, frustrated because of what our water looks like. We have rights to blame other people for our health because of the cancer and the injustices that have been done by the federal government. And today we've gotten to a place where the years and years and years of Native people sitting around the table with government agencies and knowing that we're not going to go away was one of the most powerful things, because like Mike said, there's been many a times when people laughed us out the door, or at least made us feel like our words were not important. But we never stopped fighting, and none of our people stopped fighting ever, and none of our people stopped supporting us, and that was key. And leaders like Craig, who, when we, felt there were hurdles or disappointment, or, were we really going to make it to the finish line? People like Craig really was like the go-getter, like, keep your damn head up. We're going forward. We're going to hit them with this. We're going to hit them with that, and it always lifted our heads back up. And he was always able to pull more people in to make us stronger. So when some people went out and got tired, other people came in, and that's why the team is so big along the river now, all up and down the basin, thousands of people who joined in this fight to this day. And that's what we could be proud of, is I was saying the other day, we're here and we're at a project where the world's largest dam removal is going to take place, and it's going to happen. And this is going to set precedents because there are going to be many, many more projects around the country that are going to improve the environment because we set a standard. We set a standard for making a better world for the people, trying to make a cleaner environment so that maybe we could stop cancer and different ailments that are killing us off. So that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of the people. I'm proud of the people never giving up. And I know we got, a few little hurdles to cross, but for the most part, we've crossed all the hard ones. And KRRC, being a part of KRRC, I've worked with some of the most professional people I've ever had the opportunity to work with. And I know that, there's frustrations with timelines and how long it takes to get things done. But, this is a book I read. It's on cultural resources and law. And if you ever get a chance, it's by Thomas King. And it's a really, really good book. And if you ever go into the field of protecting cultural resources, he's one individual that has a very good professional view on it all. But this little circle right here, you can see, if you can see it, it's multiple circles circling around each other. And that's kind of what it's been like on KRRC, is there are so many laws that we've had to work through meeting all of the standards for the federal government requirements, CEQA. Now we're at the point of NEPA, which is a victory because we're there. We're there. We're ready to check the box and be done with this. And I can't give enough thanks to the scientists who have made our teams the strongest teams they could ever be. You got Dave, Mike, so many, Todd, everybody, so many scientists that have gone through this for decades to build the science that we needed to be that strong, to back us Native people, and those Native scientists also that included their wisdom in the process, made us that much stronger. And so my hat goes off to them. So definitely any college students out there, we need more scientists, and because we have other environmental issues that we'll have to take on in the future. So I would encourage Native people to really look into taking opportunities to become a protector by becoming a biologist or some sort of scientist. But I'll stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wendy. I'm getting feedback. Do people hear feedback from me? Okay, it stopped. So next, I think Ms. Cody, are you ready to show some photos of some of the water protectors we've lost? And then we'd like to have people offer some words about or stories about them. And then we're gonna ask P.D. Brucker to introduce his song, How Do We Take Down the Iron Gate, which we'll show.
All right, I have that here. Let me just share the screen.
Does anyone want to say a few words about Tim McKay? Or, oh, sorry, we lost him. Oh, it looks like we're starting with Grant. Is Vicky here? Vicky, are you here? I can start, but recently we lost our good friend and water protector, Grant Gilkinson. And he was, maybe not everyone knows him because he was a behind the scenes kind of person. He was always there making sure that there was a bake sale or something, some kind of fundraiser so that every single young person and every single tribal member that wanted to go to a dam removal meeting could. He spent a lot of times in the schools teaching the next generation of water protectors. And he also spent a lot of time making sure that they could go to colleges and visit colleges and that they were getting mentorships. He's one of the best people I've ever met, and I'm so proud to have been his friend and being able to work with him. And if anyone else wants to say a couple words about Grant, that would be wonderful. And if not, we can talk about the next person.
Hey, this is Vicky. I'll just say thanks for including Uncle in this. And I feel like it would have been, how happy he, is to know that, that this is going on today. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who worked with him. And I think that he would have just been so proud, and he definitely was all about bringing the youth to the events. And I just want to say thank you. And how even now, just with I think when I think of needing to build strength, and like I've heard other folks say, light a fire under my ass, I always think of whatever he would do and say. So so hopefully that'll just be the way it is always. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a word to say about Grant? Well, thank you so much to Grant. He's like a brother to me, and I love him so much, and I very much miss him. Oh, we got Skip.
Yeah, real quick. So I got my kids here, youth. Speaking of youth, we're gonna sing a little song real quick. So go ahead, Kenneth. What do we practice? Because they gotta go to bed.
So I just wanted to thank people like Grant who helped bring down the dams and maybe died before they could see this happen, this accomplishment. And I thank everyone who came before me and everyone who's here right now and walk now.
All right. So we're gonna sing a real quick song. Go ahead. You're up, boy. Youth.
Everybody in the past has taken their part, and I want to thank them. And it's time for us to take ours. We've come so far. We can't stop now, and don't let anything try and stop us.
All right. Real quick song. Out walk. And it's a helper song, healer song for the river. Ready? Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, yo. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, all right. Walk loud. Each way.
Thank you so much. I was really hoping that those boys would be able to speak tonight. They have been so powerful over the last year, going to every hearing. I'm so proud of Connect and Ripoy of all the work they've done, and thank you so much. So does anyone want to say a few words about Tim McKay? I'm willing to start. I got involved somewhat because of Tim McKay. Tim McKay, Chris Peters, and Felice Pace back in the 90s got me involved in the Dilling Creek work. And I got all of my original readings on the Klamath-Siskiyou area and the Klamath River from Tim McKay's library. And he was a powerful, powerful, inspirational man who was one of the first people I ever heard say that we have to support the tribes and getting the Klamath dams down. And he also is the first person that I know that didn't live on the Klamath River that headed there to take pictures of the fish kill in 2002. So I was definitely very inspired by him.
I would just say, before I knew anything about Klamath and before I knew anything about tribal people and, working in a tribal community, Tim called me. I was working at Friends of the River and shared with me pictures of the fish kill and asked me to help kind of get the word out. And that was kind of my introduction to Klamath. And I just always be thankful for Tim for I think I was really intimidated to come up and work in a tribal community, and I didn't know how to act, and I didn't know anything. And I think Tim gave me a lot of good guidance, a lot of good advice that helped me find my way early on. And I'll just never forget it, and I'll always be appreciative of it.
Awesome. Thank you, Craig. Should we go to the next person? I think there's about 5 people we wanted to honor tonight. And then we're going to have Petey go right after. So this is, if someone wanted to share some words about Ronnie Pierce.
Yeah.
Was good.
Go ahead, Petey. I'll talk about Ronnie a little bit. Ronnie Pierce is, she's native from the Vancouver area, but she was working for the Karuk tribe as a consultant in the early days of the water fights and the very beginning of dam removal. And Ronnie Pierce was an incredible fighter. She stood all of about 5'1", maybe. Chain smoker, which ultimately undid her, and just completely fierce and never backed down. Matter of fact, she got under the skin of the Bureau of Reclamation so much that the Bureau tried to withhold Karuk tribe funding unless they promised not to continue to hire Ronnie Pierce, in which of course the Karuk tribe refused to do. And Ronnie was incredible at just poring over the minutia, and you can see that famous picture of her standing. That's the Pacific Corps relicensing application in 2004 to relicense the Klamath dams. And her famous quote from that was like, "I read through every binder in there and I can't tell that salmon live in this river from what they wrote." And she was irreverent and was instrumental in helping get us on the path towards dam removal. She did the work with FERC and looked up what their dam removal policy was. Our first letters were written based on her templates. She was incredible. And what was really great was how she would show up at these meetings with all these old white guys, and they were afraid of her. It was awesome because she just would never back down off anybody, was just not afraid to tell the truth. I saw her walk straight out of a meeting before and just say, "This is a big waste of time," walk right out of it. Everybody was blown away. I'll always miss her. And to this day, she was, I think a lot of younger folks now don't know her, but she really played her part.
Thank you, Mike.
This is Poppy, and I would just add to that by saying what I remember of Ronnie. She worked with the commission early on, and I remember her giving you guys a run for her money, or your money. She was a tough cookie, and fierce is right. I mean, that's the word I would use for her too. She knew her stuff, and sometimes it's good to be fierce because you really know what you're talking about. But Ronnie did know what she was talking about, and of course her life did get cut a little short, and it was a great loss. And I am pretty sure she's looking down right now and pretty happy with all the work you guys did.
This is Craig. I can remember she was really the first Indian person that I ever got to know. I can remember it dawned on me that we should turn this into a corporate responsibility campaign. And I can remember calling Ronnie and saying, what we really need to do is quit dorking around with FERC and just take it straight to this company and just go protest right on their corporate doorsteps. And Ronnie's like, "Well, I'm glad you white guys finally figured that one out. Now, how about going and finding some money so we can do that?" And sort of the rest is history. But I thought I'd made this giant leap, and she had it all figured out all along, as usual.
Awesome. Thank you, Craig and Poppy and Mike. Cody,
Hey.
oh, someone's.
Hey, I wanted to say something about Ronnie before we leave that.
Awesome, Molly, because you're the perfect person to also talk about Florence.
Yeah, segue right into that. So these Ronnie and Florence, I wanted to say Ronnie was, when I first started working at DNR and first started in the Klamath campaign, you know, I was like 18 years old, and Ronnie was like the most badass Indian woman I had ever met in my whole life. I'm just so proud to have known her and known her personally and have been able to like pick up those little things from her and the things that she said and the way that she was. And I feel like that just like is in all of us. And that's really a good segue to Florence, because Florence was very much like Ronnie too. She was my mentor. She expected so much from me, and I think she just pushed me to be so involved. And so taking all of the things that Ronnie taught me when I was very young at DNR, and Florence pushing me, if you want to go to Florence's slide, Florence is one of the strongest women I've ever known in my life. I think that she was with all of us during this whole thing, and you know, we really miss her on council. She was such a good advocate for the river and the youth, and she just drug everybody right along with her in the way she was going to be strong about this, and she was going to stick to her guns, and that's kind of how she taught all of us to be. So I'm just really proud to have known and learned from both Ronnie and Florence over the years. So I appreciate them.
Is any of Florence's family on the call, or anyone else that wants to say a word? I have a bit of a funny, it's not a funny story, but when we were in Omaha protesting Warren, or demonstrating at Warren Buffett's shareholder meeting the first year, which I think might have been 2007, there was a tornado that hit, I can't remember where it was. It might have been Lincoln, but one of the nearby towns, a big tornado hit. And it leveled part of the town. And I remember Leaf saying, "Oh, we should put out a press release saying that we did a tornado dance and that's why this happened," or some kind of joke like that about how the weather was because we came there. But I remember sitting in the airport in Omaha for like hours and hours waiting for a plane to come, and Florence coming in and talking to us for a little while, and like just that her plane, everyone's planes were grounded for the whole day, but Florence's plane came exactly on time, and she was just able to like go on her way and do everything like exactly as planned. And I remember thinking that she must have the I mean, I knew her and I knew she was a beautiful person, but I just remember thinking that there was like angels watching over Florence, that she had done so much good for everyone that nothing would slow her down, not even a tornado. And I just remember, I remember going to Standing Rock with some of her family and being like, "Are you guys okay? Just driving straight for 2 days?" And then being like, "We grew up doing that with Florence. We're Florence's grandkids. That's what we do." we're ready to go at any point, because she would just load up all of her kids and grandkids in the car. And some of the pictures we'll see later are her grandkids that grew up doing this because of her leadership, and now they're leaders in the community too. And I know that's because of how much she did for them and how much she did for the river, that there's a lot of young people that are beautiful leaders in the community because of her influence. So Cody, should we do Troy? I don't know if Mike or Frankie want to talk about Troy. Or Craig.
Yeah, I'll talk about Troy a little bit. And I know I just talked about Ronnie, so I'm sorry, but I was personal friends with Troy for a very long time, and we worked side by side on these issues. And I drove to and from, I don't know, a couple thousand different meetings with him. We worked on Trinity issues. We worked on Klamath water issues. We worked on dam removal. We did everything together. We hung out on personal time. We drank a few 6-packs of beer together. And just shared a lot of things, whether it was life or strategy or whatever. He was basically one of my best friends. And he was an unbelievable leader. I just had, it was like knowing John F. Kennedy personally. He was an incredible Native leader. It's not just that he was a good strategist or that he always did his homework or he had an incredible photographic memory and always knew everything better than the people we were meeting with, but he was Native through and through. The only time I remember watching him, someone told him that he's not Native anymore. He'd been too many of these meetings, and I swear to God, Troy was about to drop fists right on the guy right in the room right there. I mean, we had to like, hey, you can't fight this guy in council chambers right now. But Troy, he was an incredible strategist. He was 3 steps ahead of these guys, whether it was the Bureau of Reclamation, the Department of Interior, the federal, the company that owned the dams or whatever. They were just no match. We would be driving to a meeting. He goes, "You watch. Here's what they're going to do. We're just going to sort of let them have their little tantrum, and in the end, they're going to give in. There's no way they're going to hold out on this." And then, damn, every time he was right. You know, his world was that world of it's not a game, but the world where you're trying to think moves ahead and think of what the other side is going to do or what motivates them and be ready and counteract that right off the bat. And it's not just that, but the way that he did things, he had this ability to just disarm the tension in a room. He would identify like we'd go to some meeting where everyone was all tense and he'd identify what that tension was coming from. And he'd crack some joke about it right at the beginning of the meeting and just crack everybody up and just sort of break the tension. And his gift was for getting people to drop their guard and be honest and really talk. He did that with federal officials. He did that with farmers. He did that with the company. And he led us to places we just didn't think we could get to. I think I don't know. It's hard to talk about. I miss him. He's a great man.
No, absolutely, Mike. Thank you for those words. Troy is my mentor as well, and a friend. You know, his like Mike said, his vision, his ability to strategize, to think 2 or 3 moves ahead, to problem solve was like nothing I'd ever worked with before. And I think he's a lot of the vision that he had, a lot of the work that he did is still being worked on today. We're still moving forward most of his agenda, most of his vision, and how he worked to strategize. I think, you know, for as much as Troy held things close, and he did, he kept a tight inner circle. but he was honest and not brash, but clear on what he meant to say and what he was trying to say. You know, I don't think there ever goes too long without thinking of him, and oftentimes I think about, you know, his wisdom he put into place and the things that he did to try to move things forward, and I often try to think of what would he do? How would he move this? How he would think through this a few steps ahead, and then do it. It's been an emotional few weeks, and it's been an emotional week because he deserved to see where we're at today. So many people were inspired by him to step forward, to move forward. So many people were empowered by his words and how he sat at the table. Mike had mentioned he sat at the table and he saw everyone as an equal, and there was no one, no matter what position you held, that he didn't see as an equal to him. And I think that went both ways, and I think that sort of empowerment, you know, drove a whole group of us to continue that same mindset, that no matter what table you're sitting at as an equal, and you have a right to be there and a right to speak your mind, because what you know is important. What you bring to the table is important. You know, most of what I've learned from him wasn't necessarily at the office, and definitely wasn't necessarily in meetings all the time, but his personal touch on things and his summary of what went on, like Belichick has said, you know, break it down for you and get into the psychology of a meeting. And I think those lessons, you know, have never left. And I think those are the things that have stuck with me this whole time, that at the end of the day, you know, put your positions aside, you know, put your titles aside, and it's just people, right? You're just people talking to people. And I think that sort of strategy we definitely put into place. You know, the Fletcher School of Negotiation is what drove this MOA forward, getting back to people, talking to people, and forgetting the titles. And I think that's a testament, and he deserves to be here. Welcome. That's it.
Thank you. And thank you to all of the people who have been the inspiration for this day. Obviously, like Craig said, we have a few more steps to go, but without those people we just mentioned, this would not have happened. And with that, I'm pretty excited, though, to introduce another one of our long-term leaders and elders in this movement. Hopefully he's still here, Petey Brucker, in order to introduce his song, How Are We Going to Take Down the Iron Gate? And he definitely has been a mentor to me also. So I'm really happy to have you here tonight, Petey.
Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate. Tell me gonna take down the Iron Gate Dam. Tell me gonna take down the Iron Gate. Let that river run through. Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate. How we gonna take down the Iron Gate Dam. How we gonna take down the Iron Gate. Swimming up and down the Klamath River basin, winter, spring, fall, all year round. They'll be swimming up the river, they'll be swimming on down. They'll be coming up the river and swooping on down. How we gonna take down the Iron Gate? How we gonna take down the Iron Gate Dam? How we gonna take down the Iron Gate? That those fish run through. Was steelhead and salmon swimming up and down the Salmon River basin, winter, spring, fall, all year round. We swimming down. Swimming up the river, then we swimming on down. First, we gotta take down the Iron Gate. First, we gotta take down the Iron Gate Dam. First, we gotta take down the Iron Gate and then let those fish run through. What about the other dams? Days to boil, Copco 1, Copco 2. Days to boil, Copco 1, Copco 2. First, we're gonna take down the Iron Gate. First, we're gonna take down the Iron Gate Dam. First, we're gonna take down the Iron Gate and let those fish run through.
Yay! We love that song. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wanted to take the moment to thank Cody and Stormy for helping put together these presentations tonight. They're wonderful. So thank you guys so much. I'm not sure, Cody, do we have one more video before we go into showing pictures and people just sharing stories?
Yes, we do. I don't know why, but this one video is not really wanting to work.
That's okay.
So
We can come back to it later. So I'm hoping that maybe Analia and Chuk Chuk and Thomas are here to talk a little bit about the actions, and we have some photos of the actions throughout the years that we can show in the background. Or anyone else who wants to talk about the years and years of actions that have gone into this.
I'm here, but I would like to allow Analia to speak and Chuk Chuk to speak first if they're here as well.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we're here. I guess I don't really know where to start. I mean, this has been kind of emotional, and just remembering the folks that we've lost along the way, and just all the heart and belief that's gone into everything that we've done. You know, it's like none of us plan to make a career out of being activists. Like, that's not what we're here. We just want to live our lives. That's all we ever wanted to do, was just live our life. And so it's just something that we've always just have to do for our future. And you know, we just haven't had a choice, but it's been amazing journey, you know. And I wasn't even there in the first part, you know. I had moved, been in Oregon for a while there, and so yeah,
I'd like to chime in here for a second. I think you guys all need to, I was thinking about it after I looked at Craig's background for a little while there, like 3 times or so, whatever. But I see you guys, before you guys were holding hands. I think you guys all need to give Warren Buffett a little thank you. I seen good things and bad things come out of this. I see you guys had beautiful children. You guys got married. I see you guys prospered well. And now we got downs to take down. So don't be feeling bad. It all was for a reason. You, Molly, Frankie, you guys all got beautiful families out of this. So appreciate that too. I mean, you know, we're water warriors or whatever, protectors, but if it wasn't for this goddamn dam, you guys probably would still be living in Oregon, and Chook Chook would probably be doing something else. So
Goddamn
I think
Dana
you guys
Rose.
owe Warren Buffett a thank you somewhere.
We love you, Dana. We also love you, just so you know. We want you to know that. And
Okay,
you're
well,
right.
I was just thinking
As
about it.
usual,
It's like,
you're right.
okay, huh?
I said, as usual, you're right.
And I also want to give Regina a big shout out because we don't always see eye to eye, but she's always been there and she's always kicked ass. So thank you. And I love all you guys too.
Yeah, we love you too. Dana's like put so much time, and again, like it's our heart and soul that we put into it. And Dana, yeah, I mean, we recognize all the time out of your life, you know, got water and all, you know, all the fundraisers, all the fish that you've collected. Like, it's never gone unnoticed. And you know, and you're like a mentor to me. Like, I always look up to you. And, you know, you're always pushing hard, and you and Grant always pushing. And you know, when I'm not feeling like I can keep going or that I'm doing anything, like you push me to keep going. And
Okay, so I was gonna tell you we're gonna have to hit the wall. Fall, what is it? Free 2023.
yeah, and just looking at this.
Just hashtag Caltrans, hell with them.
Yeah.
No, I mean, sometimes in like, when I was in my early 20s, and Dana will remember, I was down in that trailer close to where I'm at now. And sometimes I was feeling lazy, hungover or whatever. And Dana would show up, be all rough with me. Fucking get your ass up, Chook. You fucking, what the fuck you think? We ain't just going to get it handed to us, kind of shit like that. And get up. Dana's here. Okay, fucking better go do what I need to do. I really appreciate that, Dana.
Thank you guys. I love you guys.
Love you too. Yeah, and just seeing those folks, it's like I was friends with, you know, I knew Tim McKay, but I was friends with Ronnie and with Troy, and wrote to Troy's son the other day when we had got that announcement. And I remember this time we were on our way to mess with somebody, I think in Sacramento, and me and Analia were just getting together and we were holding hands in the back of the van or something, and we were talking to Troy about how pissed off we were about this or that. And by the time me and Analia were kind of described what we were pissed off about, we're on our way to Waterboard or something, and then he says, "Wait a minute, are you guys going there to protest us?" And we said, "We don't know, man. We'll figure it out when we get there, though." Yeah, just those folks we lost, and yeah, Florence just being so tough, and like you're saying, Dana, the folks that we've gained, not just lost, the folks that we've gained, and the good that's come from it. And yeah, we've had our growls with each other, but our hearts are always in the right place, you know, when it's about fixing the river and you know, for our future generations and for our current generation too. Like, you know, we always say this is for our future, but damn it, that's for us too. You know, it's for us too. And yeah, it's been a hell of a long road, you know, when you start looking at all them pictures, that 20-minute Petey Brucker singing and all those pictures, just like I seen a picture of Analia drinking the Mega Talks, and it just reminded me of all the wacky shit we've done over the years, grinding up fish and shipping it back east, and the fucking weird shit we did. Everybody getting kicked out of Nebraska. Fucking bunch of wacky people that just had a lot of love and determination and stick-to-itness, and yeah.
And I love that there's all these goddamn banners we still have them.
Yeah.
Dust them off every so many years.
I was feeling really beat this summer when that FERC thing come down. I was just feeling whooped and didn't feel like I had it in me to go for more, you know, and then that blockade ended up how it ended up, you know. We all of us that were there that day know what went down, and that was heavy. And I'm really glad that we're all sitting here today, because that day at that blockade, I wasn't sure where we were going to be at by now, and I'm proud to be where we are.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Me
And also like
too.
to thank Craig Tucker too.
And then
We haven't
just-
always seen eye to eye, but he's a very good ally.
Well, Dana, you've taught me so much, and you know, I think it's just been you know, working with all of you. I've had to learn to trust the collective wisdom, and you know, there's been times when it's like, sometimes it was Troy shooting from the hip at a meeting, and I'm like, oh my God, we didn't talk about this as part of the strategy, and it work out, or you know, we would kind of get crossways, and it was like, who's protesting who, and but it would all kind of work out in the end, and so I've just sort of learned to just not have anxiety and trust that collective wisdom. But the other is just sort of the fearlessness, you know. It's really hard to protest in front of a bunch of cops in riot gear, and protest in front of thousands of people, and you know, we have done a bunch of weird stuff, but I think you guys have taught me just to be fearless, and you guys have set that example. And I don't think you can't do this without Indians. Like, you couldn't do what we've done without Indians. Like, there's no way. It just wouldn't work. And I think that's just something I really accept and believe. And I think whether it's removing dams or fixing rivers or dealing with climate change or you know, forest fire, whatever the issues are that we need to solve, my advice to people is like, you better go find some Indians to get involved, because that's what it takes to solve these kinds of problems.
Nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, you know, and to that thought of, you know, of not just the people that we've lost, but the people that we've gained, and all the solidarity that we've gained through this all. I mean, it really has been magical. The actions, you know, it's our prayer and that will, you know, that I really believe our ancestors are looking over us, and you know, they're there with us, because these actions have been there. You know, there's some really beautiful moments and spontaneity that's come out of some of them, and the magic they've worked. You know, we've had small victories and along the way, and yeah, I really do believe our ancestors are with us and helping us, and I think it's beautiful that like Poppy was saying earlier, the bar that we've set for others. Like, there's so many people that have looked up to this campaign, and because it has been, even though it's taken so long, like there have been so many successful moments that people really look up to it, and it gives hope to others, you know, that, you know, if we're successful in this fight, it sets that bar for others, that, you know, we can protect all the indigenous land and restore the things that have been destroyed. And so it's just really hopeful. There's been a lot of hope and building solidarity in this bigger movement that's happening now, you know, of land back, and really that idea of restoration and social justice.
Thank you all so much. Cody, are you trying to show a video? No, seems like a video.
I can do it's just song, I think, behind it, but I can play that if you'd like.
It's up to everyone else. I mean, I like hearing people's stories. Do people want to watch the video, do more stories? I know there are people on here that have done a lot of work that have not gotten a chance to talk. I think Morningstar and Tara Lynn, are you guys there? Do you guys want to say anything?
I think Carolyn's being shy right now, but she's coming over. I just have, let me put this back on. I have a quick quote to read on behalf of one of the other hats that I wear is for the International Indian Treaty Council. And so on behalf of the executive director, Andrea Carmen, she says that the International Indian Treaty Council warmly and enthusiastically welcomes this outcome. It is the result of many years of continued advocacy for the life of the river, the salmon, and the surrounding ecosystem led by Indigenous peoples, nations, tribes, and communities on the front lines. The IITC has been proud to support this struggle for many years, and we are so grateful to all that worked to bring about this outcome. And so I just want to echo what everyone shared in terms of just being very inspired and, you know, and following all of you and following this fight and just watching all of you never give up and just continue to go. That, you know, this has been inspiration. I've been following along and trying to plug in and support where I could because you all are providing the blueprint and the path for us to be able to take down the dams on the Pitt River. And so I just want to thank all of you for that. And thank you for all of those sacrifices that have been made. So,
I just want to thank all the water warriors, water protectors. That is the huge win for all of our people on the river since time immemorial. And you know, we have a long road ahead, but I'm really excited. And thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tara Lynn, too.
Happy birthday, Tara Lynn.
Yeah, and I think we have another video to show, but I also wanted to echo that this is an inspiration to so many people. And I'm hoping that after this next video or before, we could talk a little bit about the day of action that just happened. And maybe before, if, so we've been back and forth to Omaha, Nebraska now several times. And when we heard that Pacific Corps might pull out of this agreement, a lot of us who have young children were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? We can't really go. Do we feel like who's going to go back to Omaha when we have our kids at home to take care of? And there was a lot of talk about the planning a day of action and what that was going to take and how to do it safely within the time of COVID. And I wanted to give a biggest shout out. I'm not sure if Brooke is here, but if she is, maybe she can talk a little bit about the day of action after Thomas. But I want to give a huge shout out to all the water protectors in Portland, Oregon, who have done several protests in the last couple months to support us here on the Klamath River. It's just been really amazing seeing people in Omaha, in Seattle, in Portland, Oregon, in Sacramento, and all over the nation standing with us. And especially wanted to give a shout out to Indigenous Environmental Network for supporting us so much within that time. But hopefully we can have Thomas and Brooke share a little bit about the day of action and what it meant to go all the way to Omaha and to stand up in Portland. Thomas, you there?
Well, again, I think it was that solidarity that really made this last action so successful, to have a voice in all these different places and to be COVID safe. Like I was really worried how it would turn out, just doing a social media campaign, but even these little moments and you know, to have Thomas there and a presence in all these places was huge. And And yeah, it made us look like millions, and that was amazing. How it felt.
Well, maybe Thomas will come back on, and if he does, we can see him. Cody, did you have another video that you wanted to show? Looks like we have about 5-6 minutes.
The Zip said, leave us alone. Don't come back to Omaha and we'll get dam removal done. And we've kept up our end of the bargain. We've given you 11 years to do it. This has to happen or else we're all going to perish. Our salmon are going to perish. It's already...
And you're going to perish.
Our kids have never known a dam-free river. Have you guys ever starved for 10 days for something you really believed in? That's our heart. You know what I mean? We're ready to give our damn lives for this.
Yeah, over there, we got you a gallon of water from behind the dam. Open it up.
It's worth it.
That's what's behind those dams.
Yeah. And our fish are drinking that, and we're eating that. They have to swim in that. That's for you to take home, or you can send it to Warren or whoever. And I feel sorry for my relatives up the river because they ain't even getting those salmon. The time they get up there, they're dying from the hot water. Look at all these kids right here. You're affecting their future, their grandkids' future. It's not about money no more. You guys gotta think about it. It's not about money no more.
And what you guys need to know is that boats, they don't just make power. What goes down in the Klamath Basin will be echoed throughout the generation. We have to deal with this struggle every day. You guys only experiencing it today. This is our life. It's not numbers on paper. It's not numbers in a bank account. It's everyday life for thousands of people. You guys gotta remember, this next generation is rising up.
There's a whole generation about my age. We're like 19, 22, 18, and we're pissed. Because we've never seen you guys. I was 19 before I even seen a dam. We just felt oppression every day. So if this doesn't end, you're gonna see more of us. I take my mask off because I want you to remember my face because we'll see me again.
You guys, we've been doing this, bouncing the same ball for almost 20 years, 18 years. You guys, Pacific Court comes, Pacific Court goes. The tribal council comes, the tribal council goes. It's the people you gotta listen to.
But this is your chance to change that narrative and to set the bar for others to take care of the world, to take care of the environment. Because we already do that, but it's your turn. Because it's the choices that you've made that's made the world in the state that it is now. So it's time for it's your turn to change things.
All right. Well, one more call out to see if Thomas still wanted to talk about the trip to Omaha he just took. Just so people know what that picture on the left is. That is a banner that Analia made, I believe, and that's Warren Buffett's house, and that's Warren Buffett's fence. So while tens of thousands of people were signing the petition and engaging in the online action, Thomas was at Warren Buffett's house. And I want to give it
Shannon Albert
for that.
Shannon went with them.
These banners were actually made by Marty, who was part of IP3 when they helped us with that second trip to Omaha. He created all these spray painted banners. Go ahead.
Marty, Heather, Sharon, Robert, those are the peeps.
Yeah.
IP.
IP3, got to give a shout out to them too.
For sure. So we have only a couple minutes left. Does anyone want to say anything to close up?
We just got to keep on going. It's not done yet. Until we see 2023.
Yeah, I would say one more thing is that even as we talk, there's UROC crews up there already starting the work. There's seed collecting going on for the reservoir restoration. UROC survey crews crawled around inside the Iron Gate exit tunnel to make sure that it can handle the outflows. So in some ways, the work's already started, and UROC crew, Hoopa tribal members are all already playing a part in it personally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Give a shout out to Regina. Regina, your big push to kind of coordinate the day of action at the end was, I thought, just really huge. And hosting this event here, you know, you really do a lot of heavy lifting in the community and on the river for kind of organizing this sort of stuff, and it's so appreciated. You do such a great job, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Regina.
you.
Thank
Everybody
you.
who found their
Virginia?
voices in this struggle. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Virginia, this is Poppy. I would just add that we continue moving forward because in many of our prayers, we get taught not to look backwards unless it's to learn from our mistakes. And so we keep moving forward with all the power and knowledge that our ancestors have given us to continue accomplishing our goals. Thank you.
Hey, did Petey want to say something to bring it home?
Say,
Love you.
I love you.
Love you, Petey.
We love Petey too.
Yeah.
Maybe we could take it out for the last couple minutes.
Love you, Petey.
Yeah, Cody, if you wanted to have the last thing maybe be the video of Petey singing the Iron Gate song with the photos. If people think I think that would be a good way.
That'd be great.
That's how we
Yeah.
open this part, so it'd be a good way to end it too. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Regina.
Cody, are you muted? If you're muted, we can't hear you. Your screen.
Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. Sorry.
So, anyways, here's a song for you. It goes. Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate. Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate down. Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate and let that river run through Klamath River now. How we gonna take down the Iron Gate? Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate down. Tell me how we gonna take down the Iron Gate and let those kids run through. We're talking wetlands. And water quality is good for the river, it's good for the land, it's good for the people. Now let me hear you say it now. Now we're gonna take down the Iron Gate. Now we're gonna take out the Iron Gate. Down wood. Now we're gonna take down the Iron Gate. And cockle 1 and cockle 2 and J.C. Boyle 2. Cockle 1, cockle 2, J.C. Boyle 2. Cockle 1, cockle 2 and J.C. Boyle 2. Now we're gonna take down the Iron Gate. Hey, now we're gonna take down the Iron Gate. Well, now we're gonna take down the Iron Gate and let those things run. What's gonna happen? Gonna let those things run. I can't hear you. Gotta let those things run. I'm out of station nook and let those things run. Maybe the faucet nook and let those things run. Go ho 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 ho, let those things run. What's in the clam prey? Let those things run. Green sturgeon, let those things run. Break down the dams and let those things run. Break down the dams and let those things run. Break down the dams and let those things run. One more time, got it. Let those things run. All right. And the spring strip will be a big medicine for the dams from now, so I'll send you some comments.
Thank you to everyone. Have a lovely night. And thank you so much to everyone who has participated in all the actions and all the days of action. And we still have a little ways to go, but I have no doubt with this crew working on it that we're gonna definitely win this fight. And special thank you to Carrie and Cody, the interns with Save California Salmon that helped to do this presentation, and to Stormy Stats for providing all the videos and photos, and Brittany too. Thank you.